Well, it finally happened. I turned 60. Turned 60 a couple of weeks ago. So I figure, you know what? You can't go backwards. You can only go forwards. So that's what we're going to do. So I've done some thinking. I think that when you get to a certain age, you want to give back. Actually, I've always kind of wanted to give back, but this is something different. This is more for younger people. Now, I'm talking 40 or younger. So if you're 44, yeah, you're younger. You may benefit from some of this, but really, I want to talk to the other folks. So everyone listen in, and if you want to add something to this, please do, because this one here is for the younger generation. Y'all, let me tell you something. There's a lot I wish that someone had told me when I was in college, actually when I was in high school. And even through the years, there are certain things that I knew, but there's a ton of things I had no clue on. And I look at my life now, yeah, I'm an independent consultant, but I'm taking care of my mother, so I don't get as much business as I used to get. I still get some here and there, which is always a good thing, but I can't really travel anymore. And so I've got to look at my money differently. I'm within 5 years of Social Security. Imagine that. I never even thought about that. And if I'm lucky, maybe I can defer that a couple of years so that I will get more monthly. But we shall see. But these are 6 lessons that I want to give to the younger folks. I hope you find this beneficial. I hope you listen. Truthfully, I hope you listen. And I could have done a lot more, but I figured, you know what? Let's look at 60 and let's just take 6 because the number works great for a title. So here's the first one. Learn how to budget. People don't like the topic of budgeting money, but truthfully, if you at least know how to do it, you will always know how much money you actually have to pay your bills. You know how much money you have to go to concerts or go out to eat or do anything else. You'll know that if you get into trouble or if you have to, like, say something happens with your car and now you have to, put some extra money on that. Well, you'll know by budgeting how you can still pay all your bills and still have everything else, but you always need to take care of the important things. You need to take care of the bills. You need to take care of food. If you need clothes for your job, specific types of clothes, you need to worry about that. If you have kids, you got to take care of your kids. You need to learn how to budget. That's a biggie. I learned that one I learned that one in my 20s. And this is before I had a computer, so I used to have to write everything down on paper so that I could do that. And I'm going to tell you the truth, it's a lifesaver. That was one of the best things that I'm glad I did because, I was working this nice job at a hospital, but it wasn't paying me enough to be able to do all the things that I really needed to do. And I mean need to do. I don't mean like being able to have enough money to go to a concert. I mean basically needed to do. So I learned how to budget, and I've got the next one that I'm going to talk about here in a second. But I learned how to budget so that I knew, okay, I'm going to pay all these bills at this time, and this is how much money I have left, and now let me sort everything else out. Number 2, you need to learn how to shop. Now, everyone thinks, well, I know how to shop. I go to the store, I look at things, and I buy the things that I want or that I need, and I leave. Well, no, that's not shopping. Shopping basically says, for instance, you go to the grocery store, and there's this ticket kind of thing that's under every single product in a grocery store. And on one side is the price, but on the other side talks about the cost. And the cost is what you need to look for in, well, basically anything that it doesn't really matter that you want a particular brand. And sometimes even within a particular brand, you need to look at costs. For instance, you might want some mayonnaise. I'm just using this as an example. So maybe you always buy the little small jar because you figure, I'm good with this and it costs the least. And maybe the small jar costs $2.50. However, the next size up, it may cost you $3, but the cost is less because of the percentage more of mayonnaise that you have. Cost basically says that this is going to go further for you than the other one. And if you look at cost for similar items, and you're budgeting your money, and it's not something that you're overly particular about, then you'll know how to save money. That's why there are warehouse stores, because you can go to one of those things and yeah, it looks like in your mind that everything costs more money, but cost per item is always going to be less than at a grocery store or a drugstore or anywhere else. Now, maybe you don't need all that much, you know? I mean, do you really need 30 rolls of toilet paper, or do you have a place for it? Well, sometimes you might, because 30 rolls may last you a year because they're a little bigger, and like I said, the per cost item, it's less. You need to learn how to shop. You need to learn how to shop for clothes. Some people want to go for all the big designer stuff because it's got that tag on it. But you know what? You can go to other stores and get something that looks really good, and it may even look similar to the expensive stuff and cost you a heck of a lot less money. One of the things I've been doing lately is going out and buying more pants, because I lost 60 pounds over the last 7 years. Yes, there's another 60. And right now I'm at my lowest weight since 1993, 1994, or something like that. Anyway, what I did was I go to the store and I look for the bargain area. Not the cheapest area, but the bargain area, where they may be having a sale on that particular week. And then I go through those pants, because I don't need to go over to the area and buy $80 pants anymore, because you know what? I've lost inches. So I don't need to buy those pants anymore. So now I can buy these other things. I can buy clothes off the rack. That was something I couldn't do for the longest time. But it's easier for me to go over and buy pants that are $25 to $30 rather than $80, because now I can basically buy 3 pairs of pants for the cost of 1 previous. You know what? You learn how to shop, your money goes further. Learn how to shop. Next, here's another problem that people have, and I have to admit I had some problems with this one as well, which is to start putting money away early, either weekly or monthly. And the truth is, the more money you can put away, the better you're going to be when you get older. I mean, my goodness. There are a lot of estimates right now that basically says if you want to live a good life by the time you're 65, you may need something like $750,000 in the bank. Who's got that? I don't have that. I've never had that. I've had some good money in the bank, but never close to $750,000. Even if I had started investing at 45, which is the first time I started investing, I wouldn't have $750,000. If you're young, learn how to start investing. Start small. You know what? If you can train your mind, if you're in your 20s, and if the best you can do is $10 a week for you, this is for your money, invest it. Or say $40 a month or $50 a month. Try to get to a place, if you can, where you're putting away at least $100 a month. And I don't mean in a bank, because banks only give you, I think it's 0.5% a year. Invest it. You know, Smith, Barney, Prudential, one of those companies. Invest your money and then keep putting money in it and give it a chance to grow. There's going to be ups and downs, but traditionally, the more money you have, especially if it's diversified funds, the better chance you have of increasing that. And that works a lot. And especially if you're in your 20s and you get used to it. One of the realities is that if you get used to your $10 a week, at a certain point, you're not going to miss that. And if you can increase that, you're not going to miss it. Also, if you run into a major problem, you've got money that you've put away. You know, one of the best ways to save money, believe it or not, at least a little bit of it, is to get a life insurance policy and get what they call whole life. The reason you do that is because, 1, it's your money, 2, it always grows, and 3, if you need to borrow against it, it's your money. You can borrow against it. They will hope that you will pay some of that back, because that's, you know, money that's building up for you. But you don't have to, but it's better that you do. Still, it's your money, so you can always get that back. You may have to pay a little tax on it, but so what? The money has grown. You don't have to take it all. You just take, you know, the amount. They will tell you how much you can take that you've actually put in. That's a smart thing to do. Number 4, learn everything you can from every single job you get. If you're a bagger at a grocery store, Learn everything you can. It's not only just about bagging. It's about customer service. It's seeing the dedication of some people to a job versus some other people who don't do well. It's leadership. Learn from good and bad leaders. You know who a bad leader is. And if you want to move up in the world of business at some point, learn from those people, not to do what they do, but learn. Always learn. The reason I was able to become a consultant is because once I got into healthcare and I decided I was going to work as hard as I could to move up in that world, I consumed it all. I learned all the jobs that everyone did. And that wasn't necessarily easy to do because some of those people didn't want you to know their jobs because everyone was always worried about their jobs. But I learned them all. And then I went beyond that because that's what I wanted to do. And I've done okay, you know? I mean, I have had some brilliant years of income because I learned things that other people didn't. And I could help on consulting assignments with multiple departments. Learn everything you can at every single job. You know, I started out as a bagger for tips back when I was like 13 or 14 years old. So I started out doing that. Then I worked at a rec center that had some bowling alleys and it had pool. I worked there. And then, you know, small jobs, and then bigger jobs and bigger jobs. But I always learned as much as I could from every single job, from the people I worked with, from the people I reported to, and actually sometimes from customers who came in, because you got to see how your actions toward them help them to relate to you. Learn everything you can. Here's number 5. Start stretching and exercising as early as you can. I'm 60 and I walk. I've lost a lot of weight because I walk a ton and I started watching my calories. What I'm not, though, is flexible. And as you get older, if you haven't learned how to stretch, then things start to hurt. I hurt my back, my knees hurt, my legs sometimes hurt. Now, right now I'm going through an issue with my arm, at least one arm, but that's because I was injured in a car accident. However, it's possible, had I been more flexible, I might not have gotten that accident. So, learn stretching. If you need yoga, learn that, but learn some kind of stretching and start doing it. And exercising. It doesn't have to be anything tough. I mean, I walk between, I will say, 6 to 10 miles every single day. Today I've walked 7 miles so far. You just move. You keep moving. What I need to do is integrate more stretching. And I do from time to time. Matter of fact, because I'm taking physical therapy, I'm actually doing stretching right now. More for my arms. I really need more of it for my legs, but I do some stretching for my legs. I just don't do enough. So, if you want to feel better long term, learn those couple of things. And here's the last thing I'm going to give you. Learn moderation. This is a biggie. When I first started exercising, I'll tell you back in, was it 88, I think, 87, 88, and I joined the gym. And I went into it the same way I used to do when I used to play sports, which is I did everything hard. I went over to the machines. I know I was pushing weight that I probably shouldn't have started at, but you know, I was a guy, and I'm thinking, I don't want to look like a punk in front of all these other people. Now, that's how we used to think back then. You're allowed to be a little more perspicacious in doing things these days, but back then, it was all about image. You know, we didn't have internet, but we had people who would say something and word would get around. So I went in and I did things that, in retrospect, were not smart. Just, you know, because I wasn't in great shape anymore. But I thought I could pick up exactly where I was before. That's a bad thing. I've never had a drink, but I know a ton of people who do drink. And every single person I know has been drunk in their lives. And some of them have been sloppy drunk. And no one has ever had a good experience when they got sloppy drunk. If you're going to drink a couple. Learn that. Don't get drunk all the time. If you're going to do marijuana, I was going to say drugs in general, but you know what? Try not to do any of that stuff that gets you addicted, that's going to get you in trouble. You know, try to stay away from that stuff. But if you're going to do something, do it in moderation. Moderation sometimes isn't enough. My dad, for instance, he used to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, but Dad never smoked the entire cigarette. He only smoked half a cigarette and then he got rid of it. Thing is that even taking that first puff, it takes part of your life away every time you puff. Now, Dad did finally stop at some point, but Dad still had lung cancer when he passed away. Learn moderation. Learn moderation in everything. Learn moderation in spending. Learn moderation in how you eat. Learn moderation in exercise. Just learn moderation. Don't go overboard in anything. If you have kids, learn moderation when you're taking care of your kids. Don't buy them everything they want. Don't punish them too hard. Don't expect them to always bring home A's. Moderation. Moderation helps you go a long way. Look for excellence. Never give up looking for excellence or looking to be the best or looking to be the best you can be. Always learn, always try to improve, but learn moderation. That's what I have today. So those are 6 tips that I just wanted to throw out there. I hope that you don't mind that we did this, and I hope you picked up something. Like I said, if you got something to share, if you have any questions on this, let me know. My name is Mitch Mitchell. If you like this, please click that like thing, subscribe to it, and click that little bell if you want to get notifications when I do this. I try to do at least 1 video every single week on this channel and my other channel. Y'all take care.